This is Dave Lombardo, and you're listening to Talk Toomey.
All right, that was the new Degeneration off of the latest Suicidal Tendencies album, World Gone Mad. And we have the amazing, legendary drummer, Dave Lombardo, on the line. How you doing, Dave?
Hey, I'm well, thank you. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. All right, so actually, your 1996, Jesus, your 2016 was an amazing year for you, man. So many cool things, and I'll just go ahead and start where I got to see you live. I got to see you in Chicago play with the Misfits, man. How was that for you?
Oh, man. It was amazing, to say the least. Experiencing, working with, Doyle and Jerry Only and Glenn, was really, kind of like, how would you say, it was unreal, to kind of see that, you never think that those guys will ever work together again. And, this music that they recorded back in the early days, was, to me, and it still is, like these classic songs that I think a lot of people haven't heard. So I fell in love with their music. I really didn't hear any of their music before working with the Misfits, because I got into punk after they had broken up. And of course, I always saw the logo and their name, but it just, I got into Dead Kennedys, Circle Jerk, Suicidal. I got into all those bands, first, before I got into, like, let's say, the New York hardcore scene. It was a real treat. I really enjoyed it. Great bunch of guys, great organization. I hope there's more shows.
Any talks of that?
Well, I wouldn't be able to say if I did, but there isn't. There's nothing yet. We haven't discussed, any kind of shows or anything happening in the future.
The one thing about that Chicago show was my wife and I, towards the end of the set, we turn around to start walking out, to kind of, beat the traffic because we're old. And the crowd just continued to go on forever. It was probably the most insane crowd I've ever been in. I didn't realize, that they knew all the lyrics. It's like later on when I was watching some of the YouTube footage, that's like, man, these people know this music, and it was great. That songwriting on those early albums, I tell you, man, it was they're really magical. I really love, the fact that the songs are very short, to the point. Verse, chorus, out. That's it. Or even chorus, verse, chorus, out. That's it. No more. So it's really cool. I love it.
So how did you land the gig in the Misfits reunion?
Glenn Danzig gave me a call, and he asked me if I would like to be a part of it. And, when Glenn Danzig calls you, you're like,
you take that call.
Respect, man. Hell yeah. So it was a surprise, But Glenn said, dude, you've always been my favorite drummer. And everybody was the same way. I mean, including Jerry Only. He was like, let's get Lombardo in here. And so I was really lucky and very fortunate to be a part of that historic moment. And I'm sure there'll be more. But, right now, we're just waiting for Glenn to decide when, where, and, how we're all going to get there.
So you're kind of coming full circle with your punk influences, I guess, or your favorite bands now that you're doing the Misfits reunion onto the Suicidal Tendencies?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because, here's Suicidal Tendencies. Because I've always been, a punk rock fan. I love punk music. It's what inspired Slayer in the beginning, because we were just a metal band. I mean, we were covering songs by Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. It's when Jeff brought, all these records to the studio and said, oh man, you got to check this out. Listen to this. And, Dead Kennedys and God We Trust,
was one of those albums that, just totally changed my attitude. And of course the first Suicidal record as well. And, I went to go see Suicidal before Slayer's first album came out.
Oh, wow.
So that's how far back. So Slayer's album came out in 83, December 83. So more than likely I saw Suicidal, summer of 83. And, so I was really into all that music. And then the Suicidal would call me. And then on top of that, then the Misfits called me. I was like, man, what's next? Is there going to be a British punk band that's going to be calling me soon? So I'll have, the West Coast punk, East Coast punk, and then the UK punk,
nice.
Covered or something. I don't know if I'd be able to do that,
Absolutely.
At least at this stage of the game, with as busy as my schedule is.
I don't know how much of maybe a spiritual person you are, but do you kind of sit back ever and go, man, Jeff would be going crazy right now if he saw that I was playing in Suicidal, he saw that I was playing with the Misfits?
Well, he would be patting me on the back. I know that for sure, but I had a dream not long ago. It was before the Misfits shows, and it was kind of creepy because it was like I met Jeff like in this, like a backstage, like a hallway, and I saw him. I was like, Jeff, dude, what's going on? And he walked by and he just said, "It's all yours, Dave. It's all yours." And then he walked into this door, and I started banging on the door. I wanted to talk to him more, but what hit me was the fact that he said, "It's all yours, dude." So I think that was kind of a little affirmation, or his way of maybe saying, go, dude, do it. So it was awesome.
Another thing I kind of wanted to hit on too is you did your week-long stint on Late Night with Seth Myers. What was that like, and how does that gig come about?
Let's see. Oh, I did the Misfits show in Chicago or Denver. I believe it might have been Denver, and Fred Armisen was there. He was at the Denver show. It was amazing comedian. I love Portlandia, and I get a phone call from the music director or something from the Seth Myers show at NBC, saying, "Hey, Fred saw your show and he was impressed, and he would love to have you on Late Night." And coming from Fred, Armisen, he's a well-established, a TV figure, and working on shows, and he also plays on Seth Myers. He plays drums, and so I was real honored and went for it. I just, no hesitation. You got to be fearless in this business, otherwise you'll find yourself huddled in a corner, like, I don't know if I can do it. No, I'm scared. Oh, I don't want to do this. It's like, come on, dude. So I just went ahead and just said, yes, let's go. And we worked on the songs in the afternoon, like at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We wrote everything in between the intro and the outro of the show, which was really cool. And there's a lot you learn, man. You got to watch the stage manager. He's the one that gives you the cues. When a guest walks out, we start the song, but as soon as that guest sits down, you have to end the song right when his or her butt touches the seat. So you have to make sure that you're ending and cueing everybody as that's happening. So it was real tricky. It took a couple tries to get it, perfect, and nailed it. I mean, that was during rehearsal, and then during the show we nailed it, and it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. I was there in the winter during the holidays, and it was kind of cool because I would get up, get ready for the day, I'd get my winter coat on and walk down to NBC studios and, show them my pass, go up to the rehearsal room, and it was cool. It's a different world. It's unlike, of course, going on the road and playing, shows in random cities across the nation or the world. Something I would definitely do again. And like I said, it's a whole other side of the music business that you learn. And I believe the more you experience, I think the better of a musician you become.
Did you and Fred get to talk shop?
No, I didn't. You see, when another drummer comes in and sits in with the band, that's because Fred isn't there. So, we had just one communication via email, and that was it. So, we really didn't have much time to talk or didn't have any conversation at all. But we exchanged greetings and, thank yous and the whole thing, and admiration for each other's work. And that's it.
Were you an SNL fan, Saturday Night Live fan?
Oh, God, yes.
So did you snoop around and go check the studios out?
Yes, I did. Yep. It was, of course, the holiday season. So, the place was all decked out, flowers and, the balls and all the, hoopla. So, yeah, it was great. It was very cool.
All right, cool. Let's move on to, I know a guy that you have a good relationship with, and one of the most amazing vocalists of all time, and that being Mike Patton. Is he still involved with your Dead Cross project? Yes, we're wrapping it up now. We've titled,
Finished all the titles of the songs. We're working on the credits for the album. It's practically mixed. I believe I arrive home on the 12th of March after this tour, and on the 14th we're mastering it. So let's say if we master it March, so maybe I hope June or July release. That's what I anticipate. But yes, he's very much involved. Yeah, very proud and very happy to have that guy on board.
So, this is the second major project you've done with him. What's it like to watch him work?
Well, actually, he took all the masters and all the music that was written, because we had a vocalist, previous to Patton, and he couldn't continue on. He had to take care of some personal, issues at home and stuff. He didn't want to go on the road or anything, and so we were left with trying to choose a vocalist, and it was really it was difficult because we had some amazing guys that we were considering, but then my manager, she says, Dave, call your friend, and I'm like, no, he's not going to want to do it. He's got a lot of things going on. It's like, he's your friend. You are always, talking with each other via text or whatever. And why don't you give it a call? Who knows? Give him a call. Sure enough, man, it took some, bending of my arm, because I just didn't think he'd be into it, but sure enough, man, all I did was send a text, and he was like, fuck yeah, I'd love to do it. And I was like, okay. This is good, So here we are, and we're almost ready to set a release date, and it's very exciting. I can't wait for the hardcore, not even metal, more the hardcore community to hear this, because I'm drumming like I don't think I've recorded drums this violent before, this angry. I don't know, it just came at a time, this music, came up at a time where there was a lot of, shit happening. The Paris attacks at the Bataclan happened, and there was all kinds of crap going on, not only in, in the world, but in my personal world, that was fueling this anger. And I said, I want to create the fucking heaviest, most brutal music that I've ever done. and it's 27 or 28 minutes it's 10 songs, 27, 28 minutes, reminiscent to the Slayer album.
I was about to say,
and
it sounds
Rain
like,
and Blood.
that sounds like old Slayer.
Yeah, but, we didn't intend for it to be this way. It's just after the songs were written, it just so happens that the songs are like 1.5 to 2 minutes. I think the longest song is 2:20 or 2:30, and that's it. And so, I'm very, very proud and really looking forward to releasing this album because I think the hardcore world, and the metal world, needs a little shot in the arm, shot of, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Needs a little something. You know what I mean? So I just hope that, the fans really enjoy it, and, especially all the drumming, fans that I have. And I don't know. I love playing music. So.
Absolutely. One side note before we get into the last little bit here with Suicidal, but I kind of wanted to go back to an interview you did with, I guess it was Dean Del Rey. You did with Dean Del Rey and Bill Burr, and that was probably one of my favorite interviews you ever did. Just hearing the two worlds collide, you and Bill Burr. Do you still maybe have any contact with Bill Burr?
I've texted him a few times. Notice I say couple few, so 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times. I don't know. So when I say that, that's what that means. We have communicated a bit, but, and we shared the stage. He's an amazing drummer. I don't know if you knew this.
I've watched some of his YouTube stuff, yeah.
Yeah, dude kicks ass. And, we played for Dean Del Rey's birthday party, and great guy, funny guy. And, he's just, he's a character.
So has Bill had any Lombardo drum lessons?
No, I didn't have to teach him anything. He knows how to, hit the hi-hat, kick, snare. He does it. He's,
I didn't know if he showed him any
does
tricks.
His thing. But no. But he was watching. He was watching when I was playing. I was looking over on the side of the stage, and there he was. I think I played AC/DC's "Let There Be Rock," and which is quite a marathon. That song is amazing. And of course, he was enjoying it. So that was a good night.
So, how's life in the Suicidal camp treating you these days?
Fucking amazing.
This album, this Suicidal album, man, the drumming it's been taken up a notch for sure. We were talking about it earlier today. As far as Suicidal albums, it's about the heaviest drumming I remember.
Yeah, awesome, man. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I love it. It's one of my proud, bodies of work. Although I wasn't there for the songwriting, all the songs were written. They even had drums, vocals, everything. Everything was done. And so when I came in, I just had to refer to the music, which is what I usually do, regardless of what band I work with. Whatever music they give me, if I'm not, part of the songwriting process, I take it as a demo. Even the Misfits, when I involve myself with the Misfits and I listen to their music, although they are the master recordings, I view them, okay, these are the demos, this is what they want, so then what I do is I take it and I streamline it, I clean it up, and but I try to keep the spirit of the band. I try to make sure that the band has, the same soul, the same energy and anger, but then with my playing. So that's basically what I did with the Suicidal, record. I just went ahead and just made sure that, I was giving them, what the band was about, what they wanted. Yeah, I love this new Suicidal record. The band is amazing. Mike Muir, dude, he's a legend. So, I couldn't ask for a better band to, play full time for, because that's basically it. I'm playing full time with Suicidal, but then let's say if Misfits calls and wants me to do something, we work out the schedule, and Suicidal is very cooperative, as well as all the other bands that I work with. So we make sure and make it happen.
So Suicidal's out currently with Crowbar. How's that tour been? And actually, it's on the outside looking in. Maybe crowd wise, is that a mixture in the crowd?
I believe so. I believe there is like a mixture. In the crowd. Of course, you got the Crowbar fans, Havoc fans, but it's it's predominantly Suicidal fans.
I'll ask the one Slayer thing from you. A couple episodes ago, I did the guitar player from Battlecross and I sat down and broke down Seasons in the Abyss. To play us out, I was going to see if you wanted to pick your favorite song off Seasons in the Abyss and maybe give a quick story.
Wow. Seasons in the Abyss. Fuck, what year was that?
That was 1990.
Yeah, 1990. Wow. Shit, I don't even know the songs on the record.
You got Expendable Youth, War Ensemble.
Read them off to me.
Expendable Youth, War Ensemble. And now you're making me go off the top of my head. Obviously, Seasons in the Abyss, Blood Red. Man.
Spirit in Black.
Spirit in Black. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I love that song. Do I have a story for it? Not really.
All right.
It's just one of my favorites, and we were playing that particular piece on some of the last tours that I was a part. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. I believe Jeff wrote that one.
Well, very cool. And if people want to catch you guys out on tour, you guys are out with Crowbar, like I said a little bit ago. And then what's the best way if people want to keep in touch with you online?
With me? Well, there's just a number of ways. I mean, I think the best way is either through my website, DaveLombardoOfficial.com, or Facebook. I'm not very good at posting all the time. I'm not, always on there, but I do, I try to keep it up to date. Or if not, just word of mouth, I don't know, just, research and you'll find it. You'll find some tour dates. But if something's happening, I usually post the headlines on my Facebook page.
Very cool. Well, Dave, once again, thanks for taking the time today, man.
Hey, thanks you guys. Take care.